Hey guys, Super Horror Bro Mike here, and in this video we continue our revisit of classic Five Nights at Freddy's characters with a look at the most popular animatronic of them all, Freddy Fazbear. In previous videos we have covered Chica, Foxy and Bonnie, so remember to check those out if they take your interest, as well as letting me know which other animatronics you'd like to see appear in this series in the future. For now though, sit back, relax, and let's walk down memory lane as we take a look at some key facts about Freddy and his various versions over the years. Freddy Fazbear is Fazbear Entertainment's central mascot. He carries the company's name as well as appearing on the branding for their restaurants and merchandise. Everything from Faz coins to cereal boxes. It's no wonder he's a fan favourite and the most iconic of all creator Scott Cawthon's enormous cast of characters. Like his fellow critters, Freddy has a very distinct look. He is, as the name would suggest, modelled after a bear, and so carries many bear-like features, with big pawed hands and feet, a circular muzzle, and of course those button ears. His body is a light shade of brown, and he wears a small black top hat and big bow tie. On the right side of his face, if we pay close attention, we notice a human handprint, most likely belonging to a child. When Freddy isn't stalking night guards through the darkness of the diner, he looks by far the friendliest of the original 4 animatronics. This look extends to his original character traits, which were laid back, happy-go-lucky, and fun-loving. We can really get a sense of Freddy Fazbear's personality when listening to him sing within the Showtime band here in this excerpt from the unreleased song originally set to appear within FNAF Help Wanted.
Well, let's meet the band. My name is Freddy, I'm the singer in the band. Got a hat and a big bow tie. Well, I'm a big brown bear, but don't be scared, I'm a real fun-loving guy.
Despite singing in the band here, Freddy doesn't actually speak in most of the FNAF games. However, that did change with the launch of mobile AR title Special Delivery, where he was finally given a voice. Take a listen to some of his lines.
I planned something special just for you. When you wake up, just remember, friends are forever. Now would be a good time to hold your breath.
It's hard to find concrete information on who exactly voices Freddy here. However, we do know that voice actor Kellen Goff did voice work for the character in Help Wanted, in addition to voicing Fredbear in Ultimate Custom Night, Molten Freddy in FNAF 6, and Funtime Freddy, who we'll touch on later in this video. Therefore, he seems the most likely candidate. Like the other animatronics, Freddy enters free roam mode during the night between the hours of 12 and 6 AM. However, unlike Bonnie, Chica and Foxy, Freddy does not seem to like standing in plain sight. He almost seems more intelligent, stalking us from the shadows. This makes spotting him much harder during gameplay, as we must search for the dim glow of his eyes peeking out from the darkness. A fun fact here is that Scott did not originally plan for Freddy to have this type of movement. In FNAF 3, after completing Nightmare Mode, we unlock a newspaper containing interesting game dev comments. One of these paragraphs states, "In the original game, Freddy was never originally meant to move around the diner and was only meant to get you if your time ran out. That was changed before release." While Freddy roams the pizzeria, he intermittently plays out a chilling piece of music. This creepy tune is actually based on a famous piece of classical music from the opera Carmen, a composition which translates to English as the Toreador song written by George Bizet. Perhaps Scott is a fan of the opera, or at least this particular one, and so wanted to insert a little bit of culture into the Five Nights franchise. Interestingly, there have only ever been 3 animatronics who use music to precede a jump scare. Freddy is obviously one of them, the other two being Ballora and the puppet. Freddy Fazbear is also one of two animatronics to feature a second name, the other being Orville Elephant. During play, Freddy can game over the player in one of two ways, either by sneaking into the office if we leave the door open and stop monitoring him when he's outside, or by running out of power, at which point the pizzeria shuts down and Freddy's face ominously lights up in the doorway as his eerie theme tune cues up. One final Freddy-related Easter egg can be found in the original FNAF when looking at this Celebrate poster in the security booth. If we move the mouse cursor over Freddy's nose and click on it, we hear a honking sound. A fun addition for sure. But what about the origins of Freddy? Who was he based upon, and where did Scott find influence for this particular animatronic? There has been much speculation on this over the years, and several sources can be cited. The first and most obvious would be Chuck E. Cheese, the star of the famous chain of restaurants under the same name. Many of the FNAF cast members seemingly take influence from these unintentionally creepy mascots, and with Chucky being the star attraction and lead singer in the band, it's pretty obvious Freddy is his variant for Fazbear's universe, especially when we look at that costume with the telltale top hat and bow tie. However, we can also look to another furry pizzeria mascot, Billy Bob from Showbiz Pizza Place, a band member, but more importantly, also a bear. The name Freddy Fazbear also has roots in another pop culture icon, it would seem, the Muppets character Fozzie Bear, whose name was based on his creator, Fazfazakis. So Freddy is a mixture of many influences as well as having his own distinct and iconic design. With Freddy now accounted for, let's move on to a quick recap of his other forms over the years and the history behind some of those designs. Now fallen into disrepair, this withered version of Freddy was the original version of the animatronic intended for the Freddy Fazbear's Pizza location. Unfortunately, he proved a bit too creepy for a family audience, but was later refurbished and so showed up in a repaired state for the original game. Toy Freddy was the revised version of the original withered form, designed to be less scary for the children visiting the pizzeria. As his name alludes, he is far more toy-like, with a glossy plastic sheen to his body and more rounded features, although those soulless black eyes are pretty horrifying. Toy Freddy is no pushover. He strides towards the office, where our hapless security guard can only equip a Freddy mask in the hope this deceptively friendly looking animatronic will move on without trying to make an endo sandwich. Toy Freddy also speaks in both FNAF AR and Ultimate Custom Night. His vocals are pantomime-like and recall the sound of mascots from kids' TV shows such as Barney the Dinosaur.
That game was totally rigged! I've got a special present just for you!
We first encountered this shiny white and purple version of Freddy while exploring Circus Baby's entertainment and rental site in FNAF's sister location. He has a large mouth full of chunky flat teeth and carries a mini puppet version of Bonnie known as Bon Bon on his right hand. The two work as a team, with Bon Bon distracting the player and allowing for Funtime to launch a surprise attack. Now, unlike Freddy Fazbear, Funtime Freddy has a psychotic side and sounds positively unhinged at times.
Well, hello again. I see you over there in the dark. Come on out.
He was in part inspired by Pennywise the Clown from Stephen King's It, which quite frankly explains a lot. Creepiest of all, if we take a close look at the blueprint for Funtime Freddy, we see there is in fact a human body sitting inside its stomach. This most likely belongs to a girl called Millie, who climbed inside Funtime's stomach plate in the book Fazbear's Frights Volume 1, Into the Pit. The book alludes she did not make it out alive. Helpy is a super cute miniature version of Funtime Freddy. He first appeared in FNAF 6 Pizzeria Simulator, where he featured in various minigames and throughout the in-game catalogue. He also helped the player with paperwork if any lawsuits needed to be taken care of while running the pizzeria. So he's one smart cookie. Since FNAF 6, he played a small role in VR game Help Wanted, as well as being selectable in Ultimate Custom Night, where he jump scares the player using an air horn. Molten Freddy is a mess of wires, circuits, and animatronic eyeballs. He constructed himself from the remains of Ennard and can be salvaged and brought into the pizzeria during the events of FNAF 6. If we look closely, we see what seem to be bloodstains around his mouth, a mouth filled with jagged, shark-like teeth. Eventually, Molten Freddy lives up to his name, as he is burned alongside the other animatronics during the game's true ending. A non-lethal animatronic that was first introduced in Pizzeria Simulator and just used for show purposes. We can buy Rockstar Freddy from the catalogue and place him on stage to rock out for our pizza-loving patrons. He is an amalgamation of other Freddy designs and, as always, he plays the role of singer in the band. However, one feature that does distinguish him from other Freddys is the bright gold star on his chest. Ultimate Custom Night finally gave Rockstar a voice and jump scare to boot.
Please deposit 5 coins. You are attempting to trick Freddy. You are attempting to...
Lefty was another new addition to the series, appearing first in FNAF Pizzeria Simulator, where he terrorized the player during their night shift in the ventilation system. That is, if we chose to salvage him. He is attracted by sound, and so keeping quiet is paramount. He looks a little like Rockstar Freddy, but has a missing eye and a grey body. If we look to the blueprint for Lefty, we can learn that he was in fact designed to trap the puppet, a creepy entity first introduced in FNAF 2. Phantom Freddy has a charred appearance and is basically a burnt-up version of Golden Freddy in terms of his model. This ghoulish apparition shows up in FNAF 3 when our character begins hallucinating, entering the office and disabling the ventilation system. There isn't much else to say about this phantom version of the famous bear. He is simply there to aid Springtrap's quest and plays a fairly minor role in the FNAF series. In case you didn't work it out from the name alone, this picture makes it very clear. Yendo is an endoskeleton bear. When compared to the regular Endo, we see quite the difference, with the other looking very humanoid in build. Yendo has a very small role in the FNAF series, appearing as an Easter egg of sorts in place of Funtime Foxy during the Funtime Auditorium within Sister Location. It is very rare to encounter him here, and even more horrifying as a result. One of the scariest looking versions of Freddy is his nightmare version from Five Nights at Freddy's 4. Here, Freddy's body is mangled and shredded, and parts of his endoskeleton can be seen beneath the damage. Tiny Fredbears poke out of these holes and snap manically at their victims. Nightmare Freddy's hands are clawed and his teeth sharp and pointy. His eyes glow orange and pierce our soul. The sound his mini Freddys make was in fact taken from an abattoir and is the sound of pigs squealing out before slaughter, but remixed at a much higher pitch. Take a listen and see if you can spot it. Fredbear doesn't appear much in the FNAF games, however he does play a fairly major role in the story. He is first referenced by Phone Guy during Night 5 of FNAF 2.
We're going to try to contact the original restaurant owner. I think the name of the place was Fredbear's Family Diner or something like that. It was closed for years though, I doubt we'll be able to track anybody down.
We learned from FNAF 3 that Fredbear was the very first Freddy and so featured dangerous spring-lock design. This unfortunately led to the death of Crying Child in FNAF 4 after his big brother and a group of bullies shoved him inside Fredbear's mouth. Due to the date of this game, speculated to take place in the year 1983, it is believed this event was not the bite of 87, but rather a second bite now known as the bite of 83. But this is greatly debated to this day. In Ultimate Custom Night, Fredbear actually speaks when jump scaring us, however his vocals are muffled and distorted. A nightmare version of Fredbear appears during FNAF 4-2. He looks very similar to Nightmare Freddy, save for the fact his body is a dirty gold colour and his features far more exaggerated.
I assure you, I am very real. Let me put you back together, then take you apart all over again.
Dreadbear is a play on the term Fredbear and is a Hammer horror take on the design of that character. He basically looks like Frankenstein's monster, with stitches all over his body, sharp claw-like fingers, bolts through his neck, and bright glowing eye sockets. A creepy sight, to be sure. He was first introduced to the series when he appeared in FNAF Help Wanted DLC, The Curse of Dreadbear, and his minigame is quite literally set inside a mad scientist's laboratory where we must perform a deranged brain transplant. Golden Freddy is a ghostly form of the bear who has completely unknown origins. He shows up in very spooky ways throughout the various Five Nights games. In the first game, for example, if we encounter a very specific series of events, after his poster appears in one of the security cameras, Golden Freddy then appears in the office and causes the screen to glitch and random images to flash up alongside bizarre audio before jump scaring the player and causing a game over. You may have noticed the jump scare noise is unique to Golden Freddy. He is one of only a few animatronics to feature a bespoke scare audio. In FNAF 2, Golden Freddy takes on a more withered guise, one in line with the other animatronics from that game. Creator Scott Cawthon doesn't even have an explanation for this mystery character himself, stating the following: "Sometimes things just happen during the game making process. I can't explain Golden Freddy." Of course, theories have been made, but just like the bite of 83, no one knows if these fan-born ideas are accurate, and it seems like Golden Freddy really is an unexplainable anomaly within the madness of this sinister world. There are other versions of Freddy we could mention, including Shadow Freddy, who makes a few brief appearances, and Nedbear, who has a minor role in FNAF 6 and Custom Night. And other designs have shown up in spin-off games and books, as well as his upcoming glam rock appearance from the game Security Breach. However, for now, this seems like a good point to wrap up this particular look at the character. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, remember to leave a like, comment down below, and of course subscribe for more horror-related content. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next video. Hey guys, SuperHorrorBro Mike here, and we are back for another Five Nights at Freddy's retrospective. Previously, we looked at Chica and Foxy. In this video, we take a look at the history behind another classic animatronic, Bonnie. So sit back, relax, and let's take a nostalgic walk down memory lane as we explain everything we know about Bonnie and his various iterations over the years. Bonnie is one of the 4 main animatronic mascots to appear in the original Five Nights at Freddy's back in 2014. As mentioned, his design is based upon the look of a rabbit or hare. This is fairly evident when we look at his bunny ears and facial features, especially the nose and mouth. His body is purple with blue hues and grey highlights from top to bottom. Inside this outer shell hangs an endoskeleton. Bonnie wears a red bow tie and carries his signature instrument, the electric guitar, which he plays in the Fazbear Band alongside Freddy and Chica. Because the name Bonnie is feminine, some players do incorrectly assume Bonnie is a female character. However, he is very much male. This trivia was confirmed around launch, and since has been made further apparent with the character's voice reveal. We can hear Bonnie sing in this clip from the unused Showtime song from FNAF Help Wanted.
Bonnie's my name, I'm hopping along with floppy ears and a cotton tail. My guitar is blazing, this rabbit's hair raising. reason. Just listen to me well. Take it, Bunny!
The voice of Bonnie in this musical number belongs to Joe Gaudette, an actor who also played several roles in the FNAF minigame mashup Ultimate Custom Night. Despite being given a voice for the Showtime theme song, Bonnie does not speak in any of the mainline games, even the most recently released AR game, Special Delivery. What Bonnie does do, however, is make some very disturbing groaning sounds. Take a listen. Now, nobody knows exactly what this sound is and why it would emanate from Bonnie's endo. The most popular theory used to explain these creepy noises can be found when looking at the tragic story behind all of these animatronics. 5 children went missing, and as we play through the games, we discover their disappearance was linked to the deranged creator of the technology behind the Fazbear animatronics, William Afton. Afton kidnapped and killed children whose souls then became trapped within these various animatronics, including Bonnie. So this wheezing is thought to be the sound of a dormant soul belonging to the child within, struggling in pain and agony. While playing the original FNAF, Bonnie attacks the player in a very specific way. He moves from the main stage of a pizzeria to the left side of a restaurant, where he appears first in the dining room, then backstage, and later either the West Hall, supply closet, or behind the office door. Eventually, he will show up in the left doorway, where if we are not quick enough to react, he sneaks inside the office. Bonnie does not immediately jump scare the player like the other animatronics, however. He waits until we raise up the surveillance monitor and then attacks after we lower it. While Bonnie is the most active of the animatronics, he is also the easiest to avoid. He certainly moves around the pizzeria quickly, but doesn't linger outside the door for very long, making power conservation fairly simple when he's around. But what was the influence behind Bonnie when FNAF mastermind Scott Cawthon sat down to create him? Well, much like the other early animatronics found at Fazbear's, seems to have originated from various mascots belonging to fast food chain Chuck E. Cheese. In the case of Bonnie, the 2 most likely candidates would be Mr. Munch due to his purple colour and chunky build, and Jasper T. Jowls as he was a guitarist in the band. Bonnie also has some of the coolest and creepiest secrets and Easter eggs out of any animatronic from the entire FNAF series. Perhaps the reason for this is because out of all Scott Cawthon's creations, Bonnie is the one who terrifies him the most. In fact, during development of the first FNAF game, Scott actually suffered nightmares from the Purple Rabbit, saying the following: "I actually think Bonnie is the scary one. I had numerous nightmares about Bonnie while I was developing the game. The other 3 never scared me that much." So what were some of these creepy Bonnie-themed anomalies? Well, firstly, when switching to the stage camera at the beginning of the night, on rare occasions, Bonnie and his companions will stare ominously back, as if they can sense us watching them. Bonnie's face also appears for a brief moment staring directly into the camera in super close-up if the player is unlucky enough to trigger it when changing cameras. This can be startling to say the least. However, the most horrifying scare of all comes from an instance where, after triggering a game over screen or when booting into the app, an eyeless Bonnie appears full screen. There is only a 0.1% chance of encountering this screen, which is why it never fails to take people by surprise. Eventually, the eye sockets light up white and the game will return to the title screen a second later. This particular scare likely originated from a real-life incident which caught Scott off guard during early development. I scared myself a few times, yes. When I was making the AI, I just had a still image of the bunny in your face for when he got into the office, nothing animated. I wasn't expecting to see it the first time, and when I lowered my camera, it gave me a good jump scare. That's when I knew I was onto something. It's also interesting to note that in the original trailer for Five Nights at Freddy's, it is Bonnie who runs down the left hallway in place of Foxy, meaning Bonnie's gameplay mechanics likely changed at some point during development. So we've now taken a detailed look at Vanilla Bonnie, but what about some of the alternate forms he has taken over the years? Let's take a look at some of Bonnie's other incarnations. The first of his FNAF 2 designs, Withered Bonnie is also one of the most unsettling. After scaring younger audiences, Withered Bonnie was retired from use at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza and fell into disrepair, hence his withered name. He has holes along his body, revealing the endoskeleton beneath. One of his arms is missing completely, and his entire faceplate has been removed, exposing his lower jaw and a mess of twisted wires. The glow of his eye sockets can also be seen here. Meeting Withered Bonnie in-game is quite an unpleasant experience. In Ultimate Custom Night, Withered Bonnie speaks to the player in a distorted electro voice. Looking far happier and more family-friendly, Toy Bonnie was designed to appeal to younger children and was created after the original Bonnie design was found to be too scary for younger audiences. He is bright blue with blushing cheeks and a deceptively friendly smile. His wide eyes feature long lashes, which enhances his seemingly innocent design. Toy Bonnie also has a far smoother texture than his other versions, his skin looking shiny and slick. He first appeared in FNAF 2 and would later resurface in Help Wanted's VR remix of these stages, as well as Ultimate Custom Night and Special Delivery. In fact, it was in Special Delivery that Toy Bonnie first spoke.
This is my chance to shine and your chance to fade away. What do we have here? Someone hiding from me?
With a personality based on singer Frank Sinatra, and a look that sort of resembles a cross between Classic and Toy Bonnie, this Rockstar version is quite a shake-up for the character. Rockstar Bonnie is not a threat in FNAF 6 Pizzeria Simulator, rather he is purchased as part of the sim aspect of the game and can be used as an entertainer in our restaurant. However, he does show up as an enemy in Custom Night, where he appears in the security office and can only be dispelled if we open our monitor and locate his guitar in time. Fail to do this and a jump scare is received, upon which Rockstar Bonnie will sing to the player in a dulcet tone.
What a fine day to come here and say that your face and flesh I must play.
Spring Bonnie is of great importance to the story of FNAF, but despite this he never actually appears during gameplay, instead making his appearance during the 8-bit minigames and backstory sequences. The Spring Bonnie suit was used by William Afton to lure his child victims to their demise. However, this suit eventually became William's tomb, as one night while fleeing the ghosts of his victims, Afton hid inside Spring Bonnie, and to his misfortune, the spring lock mechanism snapped shut, slicing him open and causing him to fuse with the insides. This led to the creation of Springtrap, who of course featured in FNAF 3 and was haunted by Afton's spirit. Bon Bon is an animatronic hand puppet belonging to Funtime Freddy, who first appeared in Sister Location and is clearly based upon the Bonnie design. A female version of this character known as Bonnet appeared in Ultimate Custom Night and marks Bonnie's first and only female variant in the series to date. Finally, we have Bonnie's Nightmare rendition from FNAF 4 and the Halloween-themed variant of this design that also featured there, as well as in the Curse of Dreadbear DLC for FNAF Help Wanted. Much of the design is the same across both of these Bonnies. Their body is torn and withered, their endo in plain sight. The hands feature clawed fingers and the mouths are full of several rows of razor-sharp teeth. Where the Jacko version differs, however, is quite apparent. A raging flame-like light emanates from within. This gives the Nightmare design a far more hellish and demonic appearance, which strikes fear into our every encounter with it. Of course, there are other forms Bonnie has taken over the years in various books and spin-off games such as Freddy in Space, but I hope for now this has been an informative and entertaining look at this particular animatronic. If you enjoyed this video, remember to leave a like, comment down below, and of course subscribe for more horror-related content. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next video. Hey guys, Super Horror Bro Mike here, and in today's video we begin a new series taking a look at some of Five Nights at Freddy's most popular animatronics. Each of these videos will break down some key facts for Fazbear's creepy creations, and we kick off today with a look at everybody's favourite chicken, Chica. So sit back, relax, and let's fuel ourselves on some FNAF themed nostalgia as we reminisce over some classic animatronics. As previously mentioned, the animal Chica is based on is a chicken. However, many players, especially in the early days of a franchise, believed her to be a duck. Out of the original 4 main animatronics, Chica is the only female character. Now this makes sense as the word chica actually means girl in Spanish. Her look is very distinctive. She is tall, yellow, with an orange beak full of teeth and creepy magenta eyes. Through the hole in her mouth we catch a glimpse of the endoskeleton within. On top of her head are tufts of feathers. Around Chica's neck we see an apron covered in a confetti pattern and the words, "Let's eat." The phrase, "let's eat," represents one of Chica's key personality traits, gluttony. She has an enormous love for food, and this becomes clear when we play the games and often hear her clanking around in the kitchen amongst the pots and pans. In fact, during the pizza party stage found within Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted, Chica can be found rooting around a kitchen-themed environment looking for pizza. In another stage where we are tasked with fixing Chica up during a repair minigame, we find slices of pizza directly beside her and cockroaches covering her body. This suggests Chica's ravenous appetite leaves her with a great deal of chewed up food trapped inside her endo, which in turn attracts all kinds of creepy crawlies to take up residence within. We also know she really loves to sing when listening to a portion of the unused Freddy Fazbear's Pizza song, also found within Help Wanted.
Hey, I'm Chica, the lady of the group. My singing is a treat.
So sweet!
But keep an eye on your pizza.
'Cause I'm a bird who likes to eat! Nom, 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 nom.
Some similarities can be seen between Chica and the original McDonald's mascot, Birdie the Early Bird. So this character may have influenced Scott Cawthon when he first sat down to sketch out Chica's design. Another influence is believed to be the Chuck E. Cheese mascot, Helen Henny. Chica was also the first character to jump scare Scott's son when he tested an early version of the original FNAF. Here is a direct quote. "He let me beta test the game for the first time. I was terrified, obviously, and the first jump scare I ever got was by Chica, and it got me so bad, it literally made me flip over the chair and almost knock the laptop off the table." Finally, when analysing Chica and her design, we must remember to include her partner in crime, the Cupcake. This strange little buck-toothed character seems to be a birthday cake which Chica carries on a tray, presumably as a gift for the birthday boy or girl in question as they celebrate their big day at Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria. However, during the night shift when Chica runs rampant, the cupcake disappears from her hand as soon as she leaves the main stage, appearing inside the office atop one of the surveillance monitors. A strange and highly creepy trait associated with Chica is the human-like moaning sound she makes whenever she is nearby. This sound is thought to be one of several things. Either A, the sound of Phone Guy, who is believed by some to be trapped within Chica's body. B, the sound of a missing child abducted by William Afton trying to call out for help. Or C, simply a malfunction in Chica's voice box, although would a malfunction cause a raspy breathing sound such as this? Perhaps creepiest of all is the fact that no one knows for sure what causes Chica to make this disturbing sound. Like Freddy, Foxy, and Bonnie, Chica was one of the original 4 animatronics found within the very first Five Nights at Freddy's game back in 2014. In this game, one of her traits was that she only ever attacked a security office from the right-hand side. However, she did mix things up in the following games, where she appeared in a number of different forms. Let's take a look at some of them. First up, Toy Chica, the first of 2 new designs for the character found within the original sequel, FNAF 2. Toy Chica is far more feminine, but no less creepy than the original design. Her appearance gets more creepy when she steps off the stage, removing her beak and eyes for an unknown reason. A white glow can be seen emitting from her now black eye sockets, perhaps the soul of a child or fragment of remnant trapped within. Rather than "let's eat," her bib now reads "let's party," suggesting she was quite the party animal. While Toy Chica did not speak in FNAF 2, she has since been given a voice to taunt players with her appearance in both Ultimate Custom Night and FNAF Special Delivery. Check out a few choice lines from each.
Where's my beak? Lodged in your forehead, of course. I wonder if you'll ever get tired of dying. Not laughing anymore, hey buddy?
Also found within FNAF 2 is Withered Chica. The withered animatronics were deemed too scary for children when first designed, and with good reason. They were then scrapped and replaced by their toy counterparts. Since that time they have fallen into disrepair. Withered Chica features a mouth with 2 sets of teeth, as her endoskeleton can clearly be seen within. Her eyes are large and stare right through our soul. Her voice is distorted and haunting, as heard when playing Custom Night. Essentially, Phantom Chica, found in FNAF 3, features the same model as Chica from FNAF 1. However, the burn marks across her body resembles the texture of a watermelon's skin. As a result, fans often refer to Phantom Chica as Watermelon, and Scott Cawthon even joked about this himself in a post on the Steam page. Phantom Chica is a ghostly hallucination and therefore cannot actually kill the player. Instead, her jump scare serves to disable equipment vital for keeping Springtrap out of the office. Nightmare Chica appeared in Five Nights at Freddy's 4 with a horrifying new design. Her suit rotted off her body, featuring clawed fingers and several layers of razor-sharp teeth. This is one rendition of the bird you wouldn't want to mess with. Nightmare Chica also saw a reskin under the name Jacko Chica, her cupcake replaced with a terrifying-looking pumpkin. This was for a Halloween-themed update for FNAF 4, and a design that would later appear in Help Wanted's Halloween DLC, Curse of Dreadbear. Jacko Chica is also the only Halloween animatronic capable of speech.
I am a burning reminder of your misdeeds.
Funtime Chica is a passive animatronic appearing only as a purchasable item for the pizza parlor we build in FNAF 6 Pizzeria Simulator. She has a colourful appearance and looks far closer to the feminine design of Toy Chica than the standard model. Her body contains a built-in speaker for playing out a variety of sounds, including some voice lines which she reads in a surprisingly cute and chipper voice.
I'm ready for my close-up. Smile!
Strangely, despite her peaceful-looking design, Funtime Cupcake actually looks far creepier than usual, sporting rows of pin-sharp teeth and an angry expression. Another animatronic purchasable in FNAF 6, but again, not a threat to the player, Rockstar Chica has a radically different look to most of her other designs. Her beak is large and more rounded, with teeth appearing only at the front. She has blue cheeks and knees and carries a pair of maracas. Her bib now features the phrase "Let's rock" in place of "Let's eat." Creator Scott Cawthon describes rockstar Chica as being loud, obnoxious, and wisecracking. We get a sense of this when encountering her as a hostile enemy with an Ultimate Custom Night, where we can hear her speak in a thick Mississippi accent.
That's right! And don't you come back now, you hear? That'll teach you for trying to trick this old bird.
There are even more variations of Chica to be found when we stray away from the main games and look at the books and spin-offs such as Freddy in Space. And with that, we come to the end of this look back at some of the facts and fond memories of everything Chica related from the FNAF universe. If you enjoyed this video, remember to leave a like, comment down below, and of course subscribe for more horror related content. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next video. Hey guys, Super Horror Bro Mike here, and in today's video we continue our retrospective of Five Nights at Freddy's and its characters with a look at the Pirate King himself, Foxy. This video will be both a look at the origins of Foxy, some interesting facts about him, and how he has evolved into different forms over the years across the many FNAF sequels and prequels. So sit back, relax, and let's take another nostalgic walk through the halls of Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria. Foxy was one of the 4 original animatronics to appear in the original smash hit Five Nights at Freddy's. Although, unlike Bonnie, Chica, and Freddy, Foxy never appeared in the pre-release promotional material, such as this trailer here. In fact, Foxy's famous hall run animation was actually performed by Bonnie in the original trailer, and this was because creator Scott Cawthon wanted to keep one of his main cast a secret until the game launched. So many players had quite the shock when first encountering Foxy back in 2014 when FNAF released. He inhabits a special area of the pizzeria known as Pirate's Cove, making him a unique and popular centerpiece for visitors. Upon hearing the name Foxy, one might assume the character is female, as the name Foxy is very feminine and certainly not one we would associate with a hard-bitten pirate. Nevertheless, Foxy is indeed male.
Welcome aboard Captain Foxy's pirate adventure!
His appearance is disheveled and haggard, with rips and tears appearing up and down his crimson red legs and body, revealing the endoskeleton beneath. He is distinctly canine and fox-like as his name suggests, with yellow eyes, red eyebrows, and a pair of pointy ears atop his head. An eye patch covers his right eye, and a hook can be seen bolted onto his right hand, completing the pirate aesthetic. Foxy's mouth hangs wide open, revealing 2 sets of razor-sharp teeth. Some of these teeth are golden, again most likely to represent his buccaneering origins. It seems Foxy had been decommissioned, as there is an out-of-order sign on the curtain around Pirate's Cove. This would explain Foxy's rundown and broken appearance. He needed major repairs and was unfit for showtime alongside the other 3 animatronics at the time of the pizzeria's closure, which again explains why he was never repaired. Most interesting is the mystery surrounding Foxy and his connection to a major yet unsolved event in the FNAF timeline, the Bite of 87. This was a gruesome accident where one of the animatronics sunk its teeth into a customer's head, removing their frontal lobe. It is referenced by Phone Guy during Night 1 of the original game.
They used to be allowed to walk around during the day too, but then there was the Bite of 87. Yeah, it's amazing that the human body can live without the frontal lobe.
Many theories have been crafted over the years to explain who was responsible for this tragic event, but it has never been officially confirmed which animatronic was in fact the cause. Foxy seems the most likely candidate for the following reasons. A. He has the sharpest and most deadly set of teeth out of the 4 animatronics functioning at the pizzeria during the year 1987, teeth that line both the top and bottom of his mouth. B. Foxy's jaw is mysteriously broken. This could easily be a result of snapping down on a customer's skull, a hard object which of course would cause damage to the animatronic's jaw mechanism. C. While running, Foxy snaps at thin air. We can see this when using the monitor and observing Foxy running down the hallway. This snapping seems to be a result of sudden movement, and so would be a malfunction in Foxy's design. A reason he was out of order after such sudden movement caused his jaw to snap down on a customer's head by accident. In fact, in FNAF Help Wanted, during his parts and service stage, we discover Foxy requires fuses to control certain parts of his body correctly. It may be that one of these fuses blew at an inopportune time. But again, no one knows for sure. This is simply the evidence we have to support this theory, and personally I think it makes a lot of sense. When playing as the Night Guard in FNAF 1, Foxy is often regarded as the toughest animatronic due to the constant need to monitor his behaviour and his brutal attack speed. He initiates his attack by peering from behind the Pirate's Cove curtain and gradually moving towards the edge of the camera until he quickly rushes the security room. However, just because we close the door doesn't mean we are saved. Foxy will drain the power from the office every time he attacks, and this means allowing him to attack one too many times can leave us exposed to other animatronic horrors residing within. Foxy also doesn't like being on camera too much, so the more times we check the camera, the more often he will attack. Foxy is also one of 2 animatronics to ever sing in the FNAF games during attack phases, with the other being Ballora from Sister Location. Foxy hums the following tune from time to time while on patrol. He is voiced by actor Christopher McCullough, who has actually uploaded a karaoke of the song You Are a Pirate from Lazytown in the voice of Foxy. It can be found over on Christopher's YouTube channel, for which there is a link below, but here is a quick preview.
Do what you want cause a pirate is free. You are a pirate. Yar har fiddle-dee-dee. Being a pirate is alright with me. Do what you want cause a pirate is free. You are a pirate.
But where did Foxy originate from? Well, much of FNAF's inspiration came from American fast food mascots of the 1970s and 1980s, notably those found within the restaurant chain Chuck E. Cheese. Keeping this in mind, it is commonly believed that Foxy's main influence was Foxy Colleen. While Colleen was a female wolf and an Irish one to boot, she shares the same first name as Foxy from FNAF, but more notably was also retired from production at the Chuck E. Cheese Pizza Time Theatre, and so shares a similar backstory. Another potential influence for the character was Rolf de Wolf from Showbiz Pizza Palace. It should also be noted that Scott's own children helped create Foxy's final design, offering up design ideas to their father during the creative process. When it came to modelling Foxy, Scott actually did this while on a family trip. He had this to say in regards to that rather challenging experience. I actually modelled the Foxy character on my laptop while riding on a 24-hour drive to visit my in-laws over the summer of 2014. It's very difficult to model a 3D character on a bumpy car ride. Maybe this is why Foxy looks so torn up. So now we've looked at Foxy, his lore, his backstory, and even his origins. However, there are many more Foxy designs that appeared over the years, so let's take a quick look at them. Withered Foxy appears in Five Nights at Freddy's 2 and was a run-down and forgotten version of the original Foxy design, deemed too creepy for younger audiences. However, while highly mangled, he is actually in far better shape than his other withered counterparts, retaining most of his original body. In gameplay, he is the only animatronic, aside from the puppet, who cannot be tricked by wearing the Freddy mask. Instead, we must flick our flashlight on and off when Withered Foxy appears at the end of a hall to repel him, the bright light stunning him for a brief time. During a minigame found within RPG spin-off FNAF World, Withered Foxy was given a voice, a suitably creepy one at that.
Listen to my voice, and you will find the key.
Nightmare Foxy was one of several nightmarish renditions of the classic animatronics to appear in FNAF 4. As the name suggests, this version of Foxy is pure nightmare fuel, sporting rows of razor-sharp teeth and missing portions of his body. His endo laid bare before our eyes. He also appeared in the Curse of Dreadbear expansion for FNAF Help Wanted, where he was even creepier in VR. Rockstar Foxy showed up in FNAF Pizzeria Simulator, but wasn't a danger to the player. Instead, he could be purchased from the in-game shop and placed as an entertainer within the player's restaurant. He lives up to his rockstar name, singing in the band. And while he retains the pirate's theme of the original Foxy, there are a number of changes to his design. For starters, he no longer has damage to his body. And in addition to the hook on his hand, he also sports a peg leg. A parrot can be found on his left shoulder and a star on his chest. Rockstar's musical instrument of choice is an accordion, which he plays on stage with glee. However, while we were safe from Rockstar Foxy during FNAF 6, in Ultimate Custom Night he was most certainly a menace, summoned by interacting with his parrot as it flew across the screen. First appearing in FNAF Sister Location, Funtime Foxy had a far cuter and less threatening appearance than its original design, at least at a first glance. Its body was a mixture of pink and white materials, and if we look closely, we see it does indeed seem to be a non-mangled version of, well, Mangle. Meaning Mangle almost certainly originated from this design, or vice versa. In gameplay, Funtime stalks us through a dark auditorium, where we must flash a beacon to repel them. If we are caught, a terrifying jump scare plays out, where Foxy's face literally splits open during its attack. Funtime Foxy would later go on to reappear in Ultimate Custom Night, where he was given a voice.
I'm sorry, but there was never enough room on this stage for both of us.
The most terrifying version of Foxy is almost certainly Grim Foxy from Help Wanted's Curse of Dreadbear DLC. He seems to look very similar to the Jacko animatronics from previous games. Much of his body has been worn away, revealing the endo beneath. Inside this skeletal frame, a fiery glow burns away, lighting him up like a jack-o'-lantern. In place of a hook, Grim Foxy's right hand now brandishes a giant sickle. His fingertips and toes are clawed, and large spikes appear to be growing out of his shoulders. All of this adds up to one horrifying animatronic. But with that, we come to the end of the second episode of FNAF Animatronics Explained. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, remember to leave a like, comment down below, and of course subscribe for more horror related content. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Hey guys, Super Horror Bro Mike here, and this is the next episode of Five Nights at Freddy's Animatronics Explained. Over the last few months, we have taken a look at many of the chilling, quirky, and bizarre robotic creations born from the mind of FNAF creator Scott Cawthon, and today we continue this exploration of series lore by taking a look at no doubt one of the creepiest, the Mangle. Mangle first appeared in Five Nights at Freddy's 2 and terrified players across the globe with its twisted and disfigured appearance. At a glance, Mangle resembles a clown. Of course, to many, clowns are unnerving to behold, so when paired with a mutilated endoskeleton, it's easy to see why Mangle gives so many players anxiety. Mangle's body is a mess of various endoskeletal parts, arranged in a nonsensical jumble. It has several white hands, with a freaky looking endo head attached to the end of a third arm. This humanoid head watches Mangle as it stalks and attacks the player. Mangle's head is reminiscent of Funtime Foxy from Sister Location. In fact, some believe that this is an ill-fated version of said animatronic. However, if we look closely, we can tell they are indeed slightly different models. Mangle's mouth is full of large white teeth, above which rosy red cheeks can be seen, and above these cheeks a single glaring eye. While nobody knows the exact inspiration for this freaky design, rather than coming from family-friendly sources such as Chuck E. Cheese like some of the other animatronics discussed in this series, it seems that Mangle was perhaps instead influenced by the monster designs of John Carpenter's cult horror classic, The Thing. This mass of contorted spare parts still has the ability to be flexible when it comes to movement though, often crawling through air vents and hanging from the ceilings of the various rooms it patrols. As Mangle hunts its prey, we hear a strange sound playing out. This audio seems to be a distorted radio frequency and is likely a result of Mangle's damaged voice box. The frequency has been likened to that of a military-encoded RTTY-75W transmission. We can even hear distant voices through the crackle. Mangle uses these radio waves to communicate with the other animatronics, most likely to alert them of their next victim's location. During gameplay, Mangle will make its way through the vents and into the security office. If we use our security tablet before donning the Freddy mask to hide from Mangle, then it will make its way inside the office and hang from the ceiling as we continue the night. This makes finishing the night almost impossible, as we must use the security camera to wind the music box, but doing this will allow Mangle to attack. You may be wondering why I refer to Mangle as it. This is mainly because Scott has never officially confirmed which gender Mangle takes. When asked directly, this was his response. Okay, people have been asking me about Mangle's gender for almost a year now, and I think that it's finally time to answer that burning question about whether Mangle is a boy or a girl so that this community can finally put the matter behind them. The answer is yes. Scott's trolling just as hard as ever, as you can see. Mangle has indeed been referred to as both genders in the past, and so may be genderless. However, despite this, it was given a voice in both Ultimate Custom Night and FNAF Special Delivery. This voice is female and performed by actress Gina Rundas. Take a listen.
I get to play take apart and put back together. You won't feel a thing. I wanted to wait until just the right moment to drop in.
I must be made whole.
So at the very least, Mangle's voice is feminine. Outside of Ultimate Custom Night, FNAF AR and FNAF 2, Mangle also appears in the vent repair mission within FNAF Help Wanted, and in several of the minigames found within its Curse of Dreadbear DLC. And not only that, Mangle has its own 8-bit minigame in FNAF 3 called Mangle's Quest, as well as a brief Easter egg during a minigame in FNAF 4. But what are Mangle's origins? How did this version of Funtime Foxy end up in such a twisted state? The best explanation given comes from everybody's favourite disembodied voice, Phone Guy, during Night 3 of the second game.
They tried to remake Foxy, you know? They thought the first one was too scary, so they redesigned them to be more kid-friendly and put them in kids' code to keep the toddlers entertained, you know. But kids these days can't keep their hands to themselves. The staff literally had to put Foxy back together at the end of every shift. Eventually they just stopped trying and left him in some kind of take-apart, put-back-together attraction. Now he's just a mess of parts. I think the employees refer to him as just the Mangle.
So as you just heard, Mangle was a replacement for the original Foxy design, which was deemed too scary for kids. However, toddlers visiting the pizzeria were drawn to this revised version of Foxy and kept breaking it apart. Eventually the staff grew tired of rebuilding Funtime Foxy and so decided to simply allow it to be taken apart and put back together day in and day out, resulting in the accidental birth of Mangle over time. And now we've taken a look at Mangle itself, what about the other forms throughout the series? While Mangle doesn't feature the variety of alternate designs of an animatronic such as, say, Freddy, it does nonetheless appear in 2 other forms during the mainline games. The first of these forms is the variant found in FNAF 3 known as Phantom Mangle. Like the other Phantom animatronics, this version of Mangle features the same character model, but has a burnt up look, foreshadowing the fire that erupted within Fazbear's Fright, the building in which the game takes place. Phantom Mangle's skin is a stained green colour, and its eyes glow a piercing white, staring at us from the shadows on camera 4. This is the only location where Phantom Mangle will appear, and, if spotted, it lets out an ear-piercing sound. Once spotted, Phantom Mangle appears in the security office, where it continues making its deafening sound, preventing the player from hearing other important audio cues. Eventually the Phantom will disperse, causing our audio equipment to go down and require rebooting. As you may have noticed from this footage, Phantom Mangle also became a selectable terror within FNAF mashup Ultimate Custom Night. Finally, we have Nightmare Mangle. What a way to make arguably the creepiest of all FNAF creations that's a little bit more horrifying. Nightmare Mangle's body is even more twisted and incomplete than its other counterparts. It features a single hand, yet has 3 long legs, all ending in long, clawed feet. The endoskeletal humanoid head now looks demonic, with a single glowing red eye and sharp, pointy teeth. Of course, it's Nightmare's head which is most terrifying to behold, sharing similarities with the design of Nightmare Foxy. Unlike the original Mangle, who may or may not be female, Ultimate Custom Night states unequivocally that Nightmare is a male animatronic. Despite this, we do not hear him speak. Nightmare Mangle also never hangs from the ceiling, at least not during gameplay. He first showed up during FNAF 4 in the Halloween update, replacing Nightmare Foxy, and would sneak down the hall and into the bedroom closet to surprise attack the player. This is exactly the kind of monster that makes something as harmless as a closet seem so creepy by night. Mangle has featured rebranded skins too, which can be found in FNAF AR. Most recently we saw this with its magician form. However, in terms of mainline games, that's pretty much it for this animatronic. We are getting close to the end of this series, but I do want to thank you for joining me on this nostalgic walk through FNAF history. Remember to check out the rest of this series if you haven't seen them yet, and if you enjoyed this video, leave a like down below, as well as a comment, and of course subscribe for more horror-related content. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next video. Hey guys, Super Horror Bro Mike here, and in this video we continue our look at the Five Nights at Freddy's animatronics with an in-depth study of one of the creepiest of all, the puppet. Previously in this series we have analysed Chica, Foxy, Bonnie and Freddy, as well as their variants, so remember to check out those videos if you are interested. Now over the course of the next 4 or 5 episodes in this series, we will dive deeper into mythology and take a look at some of the less famous, but nonetheless important members of Scott Cawthon's sprawling cast of creeps. So let's kick off this episode with a complete history of the puppet. The puppet, also known as the marionette, is not exactly your everyday Pinocchio. It is instead a terrifying looking entity which wouldn't look too out of place in a killer clown movie or Tim Burton's Beetlejuice. The puppet's face looks like a mask, with an uncomfortably large toothless smile, sporting bright red lipstick, and above this smile, a pair of black, lifeless eyes can be found. Purple stripes which look like streams of tears are seen below these eyes, and either side sit rosy red cheeks. The body is extremely slender and tall. It is black with white stripes on the arms and legs and buttons running up the torso. The puppet only has 3 fingers to each hand, and these are almost like cables rather than functioning digits. They seem to have no joints within. Even stranger still are the feet, or rather the lack of them. The puppet almost seems to float as it steps forward on a pair of pin points. It is without doubt the most humanoid of all animatronics. But what is the story behind this creepy creation? Originally, the puppet was an inanimate object. It wasn't able to greet guests like Freddy and the rest of the gang, but rather could be found at the prize counter in Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. We are told it was originally created as a security measure to keep the children visiting the pizzeria safe. Yeah, that didn't work out so great, did it? You see, this all changed one fateful night. Henry Emily was co-creator of the Fazbear animatronics and the work partner of nefarious mastermind William Afton. He had a daughter called Charlotte, who ended up becoming the first victim of his murderous co-worker. As with much of the Five Nights at Freddy's lore, the exact details are vague, but it seems after Charlotte was murdered by Afton, her spirit became trapped inside the puppet's shell. You see, Henry had given a green bracelet to his daughter, allowing the puppet to track Charlie and protect her. However, the puppet became trapped and so was unable to intervene in William Afton's crime. By the time the puppet reaches Charlotte's body, it's too late. Its circuits have been damaged by the rainfall, and so it simply crawls over to her corpse, where Charlotte's spirit then possessed it. In the insanity ending of FNAF 6 Pizzeria Simulator, we can hear her father Henry monologuing as he burns the restaurant and animatronics trapped within to the ground. Here, he condemns Afton's spirit to hell, freeing the spirits of the other lost children and apologizing to his daughter for being unable to save her.
My daughter, if you can hear me, I knew you would return as well. It's in your nature to protect the innocent. I'm sorry that on that day, the day you were shut out and left to die, no one was there to lift you up into their arms, the way you lifted others into yours.
However, there is more to the puppet than Charlotte Emily. You see, after she was murdered and went on to possess this empty vessel, Charlie then went on to witness William Afton go on to abduct and murder the other missing children. It has been theorized, in fact, that it was the puppet who stuffed the children into the animatronic suits as a way to allow them to exact revenge and live on after death in the same way Charlotte did. We get the sense that this puppet is very protective over the spirits of the other children, as we hear the following lines spoken by her during Ultimate's custom night.
The others are under my protection.
We also get the sense that the puppet enjoys tormenting its victims and seeing them suffer, as if the spirit of Charlotte has become twisted and vengeful over the years as a result of her tragic end.
Seeing you powerless is like music to me.
You may have noticed I have been referring to the puppet as a she due to the fact we know the soul within is female. Despite this, the puppet itself is actually male, a fact confirmed officially within the book The Freddy Files. As well as this, the puppet's mechanic description in Ultimate Custom Night also uses the male pronoun. So we've discussed the puppet's looks and backstory in the game, but what about actual game appearances and forms it has taken over the years? The puppet first appeared in Five Nights at Freddy's 2, where it would attack if the player did not keep the music box wound over at the prize counter. The music emanating from this box is the children's nursery rhyme My Grandfather's Clock, which sounds like this. However, fail to keep this box wound up, and the appropriately titled Pop Goes the Weasel plays instead. After this, the puppet emerges from the box and will begin stalking the player, making its way camera to camera until it reaches the security office. Unlike most of the animatronics, it sees right through our Freddy mask disguise and cannot be deterred by the flashlight, meaning failure to keep the music box wound results in an instant death if the puppet reaches us before the shift's end. The next time we saw the puppet was in Five Nights at Freddy's 3. As with the other animatronics, in this particular game the puppet takes on a phantom form. Its appearance is now decayed and burnt. It appears in the hallway on camera 8, and if we look at it for too long, the puppet moves into our office where its head obscures our view and makes protecting ourselves a much harder task. It's also incredibly creepy. However, the puppet does have another role in this game. By double-clicking on the drawing of a puppet found on Cam 2, we are transported to a secret 8-bit style minigame called Happiest Day. Here we actually control the puppet in a cryptic 2D side-scroller. This minigame leads us to the game's good ending when all other minigames have been successfully completed. It once again shows the puppet looking over the children protectively as it seems to symbolise their souls leaving their bodies. Moving over to FNAF 4, and the puppet is nowhere to be seen. Well, until the arrival of the Halloween update, that is. This introduced a horrifying variant of the puppet known as Night Marion. If you thought the original puppet design was creepy, get a load of this guy. Its body is even thinner, with skeletal details such as a protruding ribcage and legs made from pure bone. Night Marion's upper limbs end at the elbow, and the rest of the arm is replaced by long stripy tendrils. Its face now lacks the rosy cheeks and red lipstick. This is replaced by a mouth filled with pointy teeth and two much bigger eyes which glow a bright white at their centre. Throughout our experience with Night Marion, that eerie music box melody can be heard. Night Marion also appeared in FNAF Help Wanted, where its presence in VR was genuinely terrifying. In Ultimate Custom Night, we get to hear Night Marion speak, and it seems to confirm the character's cruel and sadistic nature. The puppet's final appearance was in FNAF 6 Pizzeria Simulator, where it appeared during a series of minigames telling the tragic backstory of Charlotte Emily as previously mentioned. However, it should also be noted that we are shown evidence of how the puppet had been fused within the Freddy animatronic Lefty. It can be seen clearly here in this image, hence why we hear Henry talking to his daughter during the game's true ending. So in that sense, Lefty's attacks in FNAF 6 sort of double as those of the puppet 2, although it does not appear in its true form during gameplay. With all that said, we have now reached the end of today's video and this look at the history of the puppet across the Five Nights at Freddy's series. I hope you did enjoy this video, and if you did, remember to leave a like, comment down below, and of course subscribe for more horror related content. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next video.